Alrighty guys, we're back for 0 Rare Goblins, and this is an Aetherdrift Standard Brew, and I'm Red Cat. Let's briefly go over the deck, then hop right into some Ranked. We have a Burst Lightning, nice. We have 4 Cacophony Scamps, 4 Diamond Pickaxe, 4 Fanatical Firebrands, 4 Frenzied Goblins. This is a 1 red mana 1/1. Whenever this creature attacks, you may pay a red mana. If you do, target creature can't block this turn. I think that's really going to come in handy. There's not a lot of removal packed into this deck list. We have 4 Gleeful Demolitions helping us go wide with goblins. We have 3 Greasewrench Goblins and 3 Monstrous Rage as well. 3 Wrenn's Resolve helping us see more off the top, and Enterprising Scallywag, kinda sort of the main build around. Funny enough, it's a 2 mana 2/2 at the beginning of your end step. If you descended this turn, create a treasure token. So there's a whole bunch of ways to help us descend every single turn, like Fanatical Firebrand, for example, tapping it, sacking it, deal 1 damage to any target. That should usually come in handy, right? Outside of that, cards like Greasewrench Goblin, the exhaust ability for 2 in a red, you discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many cards. You put a +1/+1 counter on this creature as well. That's a lot of value packed in. There might also be moments where you actually get a Cacophony Scamp, there we go, through to the opponent's face, and then maybe you sacrifice it to its own ability as well. That'll also help you get that extra treasure token at the end, and then maybe you can use that treasure token next turn, pop it to a Gleeful Demolition, go wide with some goblins. Now also, with the Gleeful Demolition, destroy target artifact, there's going to be a lot of moments where you might just use that on your opponent's thing, right? We're seeing a lot of synthesizer builds, so this should really come in handy. Also, destroy target artifact, you can target your Diamond Pickaxe, which happens to have indestructible, right? So you're actually not going to lose the Diamond Pickaxe, and you can use it for more Gleeful Demolitions in the future. So if you controlled that artifact, of course, you're creating 3 1/1 red Phyrexian Goblin creature tokens, which is going wide pretty darn fast. Also, don't forget Diamond Pickaxe, when it's actually equipped, generates extra treasure tokens too, which of course could really come in handy. And we also have Burner Rocket packed in. It's a 2 mana artifact vehicle. It has flash, and when it enters, target creature you control gets +2/+0 and gains trample until end of turn, and the crew cost is only 1. Awesome stuff. So another artifact that I guess we wouldn't mind popping to Gleeful Demolition, but also, you know, these little 1/1 goblins don't have haste or anything, so you could totally crew up a Burner Rocket with it and maybe get an extra 3 through that way. So where's the cards that say boost the goblins? Well, Patchwork Banner is actually the only one in here. 0 rare goblins. It was actually hard to justify having 0 rares in here, but Patchwork Banner I think is going to be excellent. It's a 3 mana artifact. As this artifact enters, you choose a creature type. You're going to choose elves in this deck? No, you're going to choose goblins, of course. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. Awesome. Now you can tap this to add 1 mana of any color. So it's sometimes you're looking at Patchwork Banner and you're like, well, what the heck are we ramping into? Like, come on, bro, why is this even in here? Well, in this deck list in particular, you're not really ramping into anything. It's just the fact that you're going to be boosting the board when it enters, and then you still have an open mana with the Patchwork Banner that you can tap and throw a Monstrous Rage onto something, or play a Hasty Goblin out of your hand, or just play one of your other 1-drops out of your hand, right? And then after the first Patchwork Banner, it becomes much, much easier to play future Patchwork Banners as well. Or if you're seeing a lot off the top too, that extra ramp could actually just help you spam things onto the board, which sounds excellent. We have 18 total mountains in here. Hopefully not too much. Hopefully not too little. Some honorable mentions, guys. There were a lot of options for some good budget goblins, like Exuberant Fuseling, Dragon Fodder, that's only a common. Lightning Strike and other burn spells could have made the cut easily. And how about the new Prow Catcher Specialist? That's only a common too. Pretty neat. Okay, guys. I do my dandiest to save the more in-depth discussion for the end of the video. In the meantime, let's go ahead, take this into some ranked, see how we do. All right, right into that first game. What am I expecting from the build? Am I crazy? I think it's going to be good, dude. I don't know. I don't know, man. Okay, 18 total mana. It could be sustainable at just 1 mountain, but probably not. I think we want to mulligan until we find that second mountain. You know, 3 plays here. Maybe if one of these was a Gleeful Demolition, maybe. It should be, yeah, mulligan, mulligan. There we go. Okay, we'll send a mountain. We only need the 2 for now. Oh, crap. But now the rest of the hand is pretty bad. Oh, no. Right, but there's so many creatures to draw into. We should be okay. Yeah, we don't want to go down to 5, I would say. All right, Enterprising Scallywag. I don't think it survives. I'm scared. I'm scared, opponent. Scallywag, get down, run. Ah! So is this a case for, did we not want to do that? Probably not. We probably wanted to try it still, right? Probably. Hey, Cacophony Scamp. Hi, buddy. Come on down. See, we could have went Burner Rocket, anticipating the burn out of the opponent's hand, and then that turn we would have had Gleeful Demolition and Scamp. Which is really cool, right? I'm tempted to Monstrous Rage the block, but they could give Indestructible to this challenger easily, huh? Let's just take the 4. Yeah, Gruul colors, man. Gotta anticipate some kind of protection. Tyvar's Stand is usually the one we see the most, right? In Gruul. Frenzied Goblin. Heck yeah, dude. We're in a lot of danger, but heck yeah, dude. Let's go for the swing. Like I said, a lot of danger. What are we going to do? Block next turn? Probably not, dude, you know. Monstrous Rage. They did not play a Monstrous Rage yet. Let's get the Burner Rocket down and established so maybe we can do the Gleeful Demolition next turn. You know what? Let's pop the Challenger too. Which one's better? Challenger lets them see more off the top. Heartfire Hero's more deadly. Yeah, what the heck, man? Let's pop the Challenger. I'm really sad that we don't have the Scallywag on the board. Man, that would have been pretty good, right? Ah, jeez. Manifold Mouse. Uh-oh. They probably would have targeted the Challenger to try to find their 3rd mana. Speaking of 3rd mana, hi. I don't mind this at all. Patchwork Banner. Call Goblins. This is crazy, dude. It's actually really good, right? That's pretty good. I like that. I don't know if we're going to get around these Heartfire Hero double strike nonsense, but that's not bad. On us at 17. We try the chump. I think we might die. We could block with 2 so that way Monstrous Rage doesn't kill us. I don't think it's worth it though, right? If they got it, they got it, which they probably do, and we can just get right into the next game because it was a fast one. Might of the Meek isn't there yet, but I get the good game ready because they still got 1 mana open. Turn inside out. So we would have had to triple block. No double. Yeah, triple block, which I would have never done that. We would have lost all 3 goblins. I think that there was already little hope. But maybe I could have played it out a little better too, somewhere in there. Still kind of neat. It's too bad Heartfire Hero isn't a goblin. That's asking for a lot, dude. At that point too, I guess that would mess up a lot of things in the meta, because it's kind of important that it's a mouse because of the Manifold Mouse. What about a mouse goblin? I'm down. Okay. So opponent goes first. I'm not worried about it. I'm keeping this. Let's do it. Cacophony Scamp. What are you doing over there, buddy? I could see the Firebrand play. I'm actually gonna establish Firebrand and see what they do to it. We could pop the Scamp. Wouldn't be terrible. Especially if they try targeting the Scamp with something important. Outside of that, I could see waiting. Oh, they start their engines. Now, on our turn, if we go Scallywag and then pop the Firebrand, we descend it into the treasure. Could be important. Impact Tremors. Yeah, we'll let the Scamp go through. We'll see. We'll let them decide if that's trade-worthy. Yeah, I think it'll be a little bit better to get the Scallywag down and get the treasure rolling. See what they do here with the Scamp. They decide to keep it. I hope that's okay. I hope those are all okay decisions. Scallywag, come on down, buddy. Descend. They want to hit our face because obviously Scallywag isn't going to die to the 1. So we're down to 18. Treasure token. Awesome. So now we'll have Patchwork Banner next turn, even if we don't see mana. And even if we do see mana, it won't be terrible. Okay. Okay. We got the block here. They're tapped out. Diamond Pickaxe. Right? Patchwork Banner, Frenzied Goblin over Greasewrench. Maybe Greasewrench. Or Diamond Pickaxe, setting up for that could be pretty decent too, I suppose. This is another instance where we're far enough in to know that we're in a lot of danger because the opponent has a little bit of setup over there. So Greasewrench Goblin will be a 3/2. House Squad Heavy might have trouble attacking in anyways, but Frenzied Goblin getting established with some extra mana on the board here might be able to take some blockers out of the equation. We're at 16. Let's see what they do with this 3 damage. Yeah, that's probably worthwhile. I think I'll establish the Frenzied Goblin then. Yeah, we'll see what we can get done here. Again, mana off the top would not be terrible for us. If we can dump our whole hand onto the board, that could be excellent. Okay, Runvelt Hordemaster. There's a couple rare goblins over there, right, guys? Do we want to chump? The Hordemaster getting the House Squad Heavy up to a 3/4 is really good for the opponent. Down to 9 is terrifying. No blocks. I accept the terrifying. Okay. Gleeful Demolition is really good. Instead of the other Patchwork Banner, which is what I was going to go for. I was going to go for the other Patchwork Banner for the turn. It makes more sense now to go ahead and go Diamond Pickaxe. Gleeful Demolition, of course, right? Oh, was I swinging for the turn? We're kind of in danger, aren't we? I probably should have started with the swing, guys. And if they want to block with the Hordemaster, that actually would have been pretty good. Yeah, I'm sorry. I wasn't really thinking if we were swinging. We should have started with the swing, though. We target, but we don't pay. We decline. Because I want another goblin from hand. Down to 12. And then we have 3 blockers. Emergency blockers, of course. I'm going to get, again, the Frenzied Goblin could help us squeeze this by. So even if we lose one of the Frenzied Goblins, we'll still have Patchwork Banner and the Frenzied Goblin ability open to take out a chump blocker. Volley Veteran. Dude, nice. Nice addition. Takes out the Scallywag. Hits it for 4. We go down to 8. It's a scary business, man. We're definitely going to have to chump. Volley Veteran has haste too. They just swing with the 2/2s. Again, mana off the top could be amazing. 2, 3, 4, 5. We only got 10 on the board, so we would need Patchwork Banner buff and then to take out 2 of their blockers, right? So we would need mana off the top, but we only got 18 lands in here. No blocks, down to 3. Let's do this, man. We're risking it all for that 3rd mana. We don't find it. Oh no. Well, we'll do our best either way then, right? We still have Patchwork Banner. We can at least take out one of the blockers. 1, 2, 3. Yep. We needed the mana. And the top 12 cards, we saw 2 at 18 land. Were we overdue for one? Probably not. Maybe. Maybe we were. We do have the Diamond Pickaxe ability too. Diamond Pickaxe, it's cost 2 to equip. I apologize, opponent. I'm thinking, buddy. We'd be able to take out 2 blockers. We'd only get 6 through. So yeah, the best way, the maximum amount of damage. I don't think we're going to survive next turn, guys. We're at 3 and they got impact tremors on the board. We definitely want to go for the fun swing. So that boosts our wide goblin board state, and then we can full swing. We're going to be forcing a block into the Horde Master. Yeah, this is 15, so that's where taking out their best blocker is essential. What is their best blocker here, guys? I guess they're Howl Squad heavy since it doesn't die. And yeah, if we had the extra mana, we would have taken these out, man. So we don't want to pay for this one. We decline. And then we want to pay for this one. Auto pay. Dude, that would have been insane, right? Oh, dude. And 0 rares in here too. Do I want to consider 19 lands? Not yet. Not yet. More testing required for sure. Oh, that would have been so cool. All right, down to 3, and then the opponent gets there. Let's see what they see on the top too. Well, they have more impact tremors in there as well, so I'm guessing top end Krinko as well. A good game, opponent. 2 very different versions of goblins, huh? So at what point too, forcing some blocks was pretty essential there. If I would have kept the creatures back, I still think they would have won that turn too, especially since we were so low. But they found a lot of mana as well. So their last card in hand honestly could have been more mana. Maybe we could have had enough chump blockers. Well, they wouldn't have been... Yeah, I don't know. I think going for the fun swing was just a lot better. But maybe we could have survived one more turn. I don't think it would have been worth it, though. I think the opponent still would have gotten there, and then I would have just been sad that I didn't swing with my goblins. Yeah, that's one of those instances where instead of like delaying the inevitable or delaying it so long just for the sake of a potential victory, and that would take away from the fun of it too. Opponent goes first. Not the biggest fan of the hand, but I feel like it might be a weird mulligan too. This is one of those moments here where now we have 3 mana. Now we don't want to see any more mana, probably for the rest of the game, but probably still a good chance of seeing mana off the top anyways, so mulligan could be worth it, but I'm going to keep it. Let's see what we can get done here. That last game was a beautiful example of why you don't have to just ramp into big things with Patchwork Banner. Patchwork Banner can just be the card that lets you play more 1-drops out of your hand on the same turn. Alright, I'm going to go for the hasty thing. I know one thing, an artifact you don't want to pop with Gleeful Demolition is probably the Patchwork Banner, but there's probably going to be moments where you do that. Burner Rocket off the top tells me I should have played Scamp last turn, but might be a decent trade into that Glimmer if they block. They probably let the 1 go through then at that point. I would say they probably do. And getting the Burner Rocket down is still worth it because we have Gleeful Demolition in hand. Yeah, still worth it. We push through an extra 2. And then next turn, we swarm the board with goblins, bro. And then next turn, we boost those goblins. And find another 1-drop off the top, right? We'll see, we'll see. Sheltered by Ghost. Oh, they're going to pick up the Burner Rocket. Now we don't have a target for the Gleeful Demolition. That breaks my heart, opponent. Ethereal Armor as well. That's a 6/6 first strike lifelink. That's not good. I don't know what we do about that. So at that point, we might as well still play the banner then for this turn instead of, yeah, instead of the other things. If we had the target for the Gleeful Demolition, the Ward 2 is going to be a problem when they decide to keep that as a blocker, which I don't think they have to. They can just keep swinging because we're not going to be able to keep up with the lifelink on that, I would say. Let's go for Frenzied Goblin anyways. Well, maybe Scamp. Maybe Scamp. Oh, I guess we can swing too. Get them down to 20. Dude, we're in a lot of danger here, bro. Oh my goodness. It's going to be a bottomless pool from the opponent. That's one we don't see often. They bounce the Cacophony Scamp. Huh? Cool. Cacophony Scamp. Hi, buddy. Oh man, that was such a good grab from the opponent too. Like they calculated that well, I would say. Like they knew not to grab the creature. They knew to grab the artifact. However, I guess they thought too, like, oh, we could crew up the vehicle as well. I'd say Sheltered by Ghosts is usually going to be an absolute menace against a deck list like this anyways. We could go Gleeful Demolition on the Patchwork. They drop nice. Thank you, opponent, but we're not going to be able to get a lot done here, unfortunately. Gleeful Demolition could still have a better target somewhere. We have some chumps. I guess we'll do this, right? A better play would have been to actually use that mana, by the way. Use the Patchwork mana and keep the mountain open. I guess you never know. If we would have had more cards in hand, like a hasty thing, for example. Yeah, Inquisitive Glimmer doesn't have Trample right now, but I think they could easily get it into the air anyways. But yeah, extra chump blockers should be pretty good. Okay, they're going to bounce one of the tokens, I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah, one of the tokens so we can't just play it down next turn. Oh, they actually go Scamp, maybe to prevent a swing. Chump with a token. They go up to 32, guys. We're almost there. Come on. Oh, no. It's more mana. All right. Well, let's do this. We'll keep one back and then also get the Scamp as well. We can't really... I mean, I guess I'll just target the Frenzied guy. I guess we could pay the ward cost. Because we have so much mana, right? Might as well. Down to 29. Like I said, almost there. Get the Scamp down. Yeah, we're definitely trying to be fast enough, but Sheltered by Ghosts is pretty fast. It is just a 2-mana card that's going to help the opponents run away with the game pretty early on here against this deck list, so definitely something to consider when we talk about it in the final thoughts. All right, chump. Opponent's up to 40. We're almost there, guys. We can do this. Oh no, it's mana. Oh dear. Okay. Let's give this to the opponent, huh? A Frenzied Goblin making it so that way the Glimmer can't attack is actually really cool, right? Yeah, we take the action. We're done. Oh, what's going on? Oh, here you go, buddy. There you go. Oh, that's pretty fun, right? Take action. Have some counters. There you go, buddy. Hey, a good game, opponent. It's actually pretty fun to see Azorius enchantments. Because usually we see, well, most recently what we've been seeing enchantments in is unfortunately the Esper Pixie deck lists, right? Which is just pretty brutal. And it doesn't usually run the Glimmer or the rooms for that matter. So this is just kind of a fun, different version of enchantments that we don't get to see very often. All right, guys, we are 24 minutes in. I believe in the deck list. I think we can totally get there. 0 rare goblins. I think we can get there, man. Guys, while I have you here in the middle of the video, by the way, make sure you check out that description where we do have that Discord link as well as that Patreon link too, if you're interested in joining either of those up or supporting the channel that way. Then also, guys, the YouTube side of things. If you like the video, make sure you actually drop it a like. And if you enjoy the channel, then consider subscribing because it really does help out the channel. Thank you, by the way. Heck yeah, dude. Let's do this. In that last game, even if we were able to keep Burner Rocket around for the extra turn, it would have only been a matter of time until they found their Sheltered by Ghost too, so all of that is going to be super duper noteworthy for when we talk about this deck list and the final thoughts here. Like, are we going to want to add something, some way to get around that? More burn, more instant speed burn, right? And then at that point, what do we drop? Well, probably Monstrous Rage here. If they saw Gleeful Demolition in hand, I think they would take the Burner Rocket. Burner Rocket still might be the grab. They're looking at it. Patchwork Banner, we're far enough away from that to not be a concern for them. They do end up taking the Burner Rocket. Diamond Pickaxe, not bad. I'm probably going to play that over the Monstrous Rage for the turn. That's not bad at all, dude. We'll get it established on the board. We got 4 Gleeful Demolitions in here. I think that's pretty important. Now, too, if we miss anything next turn, we can equip the Pickaxe and start ramping with it. Actually, we can equip Pickaxe and use the... It's another Duress. Crap. Probably... Okay, they take the banner. Double Monstrous Rage. Cool, man. I'm going to take the turn to equip the Pickaxe. We'll swing. We'll use the treasure. This is cool, dude. Opponent is down to 11. Unfortunately, Duress really hitting its mark well. Let's see what we can actually pull off here as we're starting to fizzle out. 3 Wrenn's Resolve for a good reason might make the argument for 4 Wrenn's Resolve. All right, 3 here. Duress, Deduce. Are we in board wipe territory, guys? It doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter if we are in board wipe territory, we gotta go. I'm pretty sure we just gotta go. Opponent's tapped out. Let's do this onto this Firebrand. Opponent's down to 3. I'm not looking. I'm not looking. What you got, opponent? What is it? I don't hear anything. Oh, I still don't hear anything. I think the opponent might be stuck between a rock and a hard place. Oh, they passed it back. Frenzied Goblin. Dude, technically we don't have to swing. We could just pop the goblins. But if they have life gain, that could be pretty bad. That could also be pretty bad, right? I guess we swing instead of just popping Firebrands. Right? What could they have? Is it better just to pop the Firebrands and get 3 through that way? The end. Exile target creature or planeswalker, search its controller's graveyard, hand. Okay, so second piece of spot removal then. So on the stack of the spot removal, we could have activated... Okay, well, we got there anyways. Thank goodness, man. Thank goodness, bro. Okay, few things, right? We only have 3 Monstrous Rage in this deck list, and we saw 2 of them. That was pretty good, right? A Diamond Pickaxe extra treasures didn't do much, but that's only because the opponent was stripping our hand bare, right? 2 Duress hitting its mark really well here on a Burner Rocket and a Patchwork Banner. Both would have really come in handy that game. Guys, let me know, in that game, would it have literally been better? We were up against some form of Dimir control. Would it have been better just to pop the Firebrands, do 1 to their face, 1 to their face, 1 to their face? Or was it better to risk the swing? When we had 6 on the board, if they had 2 pieces of spot removal, we would have gotten them down to 2, and then they could have potentially brought it back from there, right? Outside of that, yeah, I don't know. That's a pretty hard decision, because if they had any amount of life gain in hand somewhere, then tapping them just to deal 1 they also would have stuck around in the game, but I don't know what Dimir life gain would have looked like at that point. I guess a flash creature also could have messed that up a little bit, so maybe it would have been better just to pop the Firebrands with their abilities. This actually looks like a pretty bad hand, even though I really do like the double Gleeful Demolition. We might have enough artifacts packed in to try. I'm going to keep it. Let's see what happens. I know one thing. I like turn 1 Scamp with a Monstrous Rage open. It's mana. That's not what you want to see, huh? I'm pretty sure Scamp gets through easy peasy. Pretty sure we want to do this while we have it, by the way. And I'm pretty sure we don't want to pop the Scamp, because if we do, we might have nothing for a while. Double Gleeful Demolition. Let's see what we see. Ooh, Merfolk. Oh no, guys. Not good news. Not good news, man. I hope it's okay that we're not popping the Scamp, but when we do pop the Scamp, what's going to be left? Oh, no, the flood. Top 10 cards, 6 mana, only 18 lands in the deck list. Look, guys, we have Gleeful Demolition for their map token. That's pretty good, right? I think we can cheese this Scamp through. We have 4 open cards. Okay, decline. Yeah, I figured they wouldn't want to block there. Okay, the Subterranean Schooner is actually a really excellent one to pop with the Gleeful Demolition, but I think we're super duper dead here. Greasewrench Goblin. Hey, that's actually really good, man. Wow, I'm impressed. Are you guys impressed with that? Let's do this. I want to keep a mountain because I think it's pretty unlikely that we'll see more. We do see more, unfortunately, right? But maybe, keeping the double Gleeful Demolition wouldn't have been that great anyways. So they do get to tap the Sentinel, power up the Schooner, get a couple more 1/1s on the board. But we do pop the Schooner, which is actually pretty decent, right? So we could risk the swing. We're at 11, guys. We could potentially survive, but if they boost this wide Merfolk board state... Oh yeah, we definitely should have mulliganed, but I'm gonna try to survive the turn because Wrenn's Resolve could do something. They do boost the board state, unfortunately. Oh, and they exhaust the Mindspring Merfolk as well. That's another way to boost the board state, guys. I overlooked that because it's +1 counter on each Merfolk you control, which is actually just really good. I'm pretty sure... Oh, yeah, they got 15 coming through just with those Merfolk over there. Hey, good game, opponent. I'm pretty sure we should have mulliganed, but at the same time, we could have seen a lot of extra things that wasn't mountains. You know what I mean? It didn't have to be 6 mountains that game, or 7 after the trade out with the Greasewrench Goblin. I still believe in the deck list, guys. The matches are really fast too, but we're kind of getting obliterated. But I still believe in the deck list for some reason. I'm going to keep the ball rolling, and I think we can end on a high note. This is probably the last game of the evening. Win or lose, I'm satisfied for what it is. 0 rares, it's kind of doing the thing. We probably need a little bit more burn in here, and we'll talk about going up that burn and what we're trading out here in a second. Okay, 3 mana in the opener. See, we could go down to 17 land, but then how many of our opening hands are going to have 1 mountain? And that's just not going to be keepable, dude. I don't think 1 mana is going to be keepable in this deck list pretty much ever, so... We'll try the 3 mana again. And turn 1 Scamp because turn 2 Burner Rocket. I guess. Cut down. Still get the 1 through. So even if it was Fanatical Firebrand for the turn, we could still play the Burner Rocket, but it doesn't do anything, right? So we just want to go ahead, swing with the Firebrand here. See if the Firebrand gets to stick around. I suppose if it doesn't, we still have the setup with the Patchwork Banner. At that point, any amount of... Okay, it's more mana. Okay, any amount of goblins. I think if we drop a land, I think I'm going up that 4th Wrenn's Resolve. That makes a lot of sense to me. And Wrenn's Resolve is just an uncommon, right? So... Uh-oh. Uh-oh, guys. I think we want to keep everything in hand, but we need creatures, man. Bloodletter of Aclazotes. We're in danger, bro. We're going to take 4 here. They go back up to 18. Enterprising Scallywag, unfortunately, does not have haste, and it's probably in a lot of danger as well. All it took was 2 cut downs from the opponent. Oh, no. Sheoldred. Wow. Okay, this is going to be a lot of damage, huh? They're going to swing with Bloodletter. That's another 4. Then another 4 from the Unholy Annex. Then they're going to gain 4. So they're up to 22. And we're going down to 6. Okay. It's more mana, guys. Okay. I might be convinced by 17 land. We'll go for the swing. They block with Sheoldred probably because they win with the Bloodletter anyways. Or they don't block. Huh. Well, I'm going to go for it then, huh? Let's do this. Burner Rocket, Burner Rocket. Monstrous Rage. Yeah. Big old chunky Scallywag. Good game, opponent. Good game. Man, I still believe in the deck list. Is that silly? It might be silly. It very well might be. Oh, they're letting us draw. It's a Scallywag. Hey. I crew up my vehicle. It's my ultimate counter spell. Haha. 2 burner rockets. They fuse together to form. Okay, never mind. Never mind, we died. Okay. Okay, let's go over the deck list again, guys. I have some changes I want to make. And for what it is, I'm kind of impressed. I think, number 1, we definitely need more burn, right? And Lightning Strike could be good. What do you guys think? 17 Mountains, another Wrenn's Resolve. What ends up happening here, then, is when we need our 3rd. When we need our 3rd... Okay, there's a few things, right? There's a few things. We have Treasure Ramp on Diamond Pickaxe, potentially. Treasure Ramp on Scallywag, potentially, as well. And then once we do hit our 3rd, we really don't want any more anyways. And if we are ramping with everything else, and we get the Patchwork Banner down, we're boosting our Goblins wide, and then you can use that banner mana right away for another 1 mana card. I think that makes a lot of sense to me. But now, if we're missing any extra mana, we got the Wrenn's Resolve to help us find more. The problem with the 4th Wrenn's Resolve is now, where the heck do we find room for the extra burn as well? And I don't really want to drop a lot of the goblins, but there is a case to be made for 3 Gleeful Demolitions, and I think that might be a good start. Gleeful Demolition helps us go wide so effectively, but it's kind of like that one game we saw 2 Gleeful Demolitions in hand, no artifacts. I decided to risk it because, you know, early Diamond Pickaxe, Burner Rocket, Scallywag Treasure, Patchwork Banner, but that's it, right? Like, we don't have Mirex in this build, which it would be too expensive for this build anyways. 3 Gleeful Demolitions, yeah. And... yeah, there's a case to be made for Lightning Strike over something like Burst Lightning, but for this deck list, since we're utilizing the Patchwork Banner, I think it's got to be the Burst Lightning. And Frenzied Goblin, again, I'm really hesitant to drop any goblins, and Frenzied Goblin is kind of that goblin that is in here because we don't have a lot of spot removal. We're trying to just blitz a whole bunch of goblins onto the board state and then take the opponent's chunkiest blockers, their lifelink blockers, all the important blockers out of the equation with the Frenzied Goblin. I think that's going to be too important. Scamp boost with Monstrous Rage and Burner Rockets, probably too important too. Fanatical Firebrand working well with the Descending on the Enterprising Scallywag is pretty good too. but maybe it's 3 Firebrands. Okay. Hold up. I'm going to go down that Wrenn's Resolve again. Let's look at 3 Burst Light. Let me rearrange this real quick. Yeah, we're making some changes, guys, for real, because I think first of all, we saw too much mana today. Going down to 17 does sketch me out a little bit, because if you have 17 mana, how many starting hands are going to be 1 mountain? Is it going to be sustainable? No, I don't think so. I don't think it's going to be sustainable in this deck list at all, which is a problem. Maybe 3 Patchwork Banners? 3 Patchwork Banners, 4th Burst Lightning. Again, you're getting rid of an artifact. This isn't an artifact that you really want to pop with the Gleeful Demolition anyways. This is also a great way to boost that wide board state, but is all 4 on the top end really worth it over just going another Burst Lightning? We're also getting rid of an uncommon for a common. Oh, I don't know. I don't know, guys. All right, let's look at the commons and uncommon split real quick. Burst Lightning's common. Cacophony Scamp's uncommon. Pickaxe is uncommon. Fanatical Firebrand's common. Frenzied Goblin is uncommon. Gleeful Demolition is uncommon. Greasewrench Goblin is uncommon, unfortunately. And then Monstrous Rage is uncommon. Now, Wrenn's Resolve is common. Scallywag is uncommon. That is getting pretty expensive, right? Burner Rocket is uncommon, and then Burner Rocket is common, and then Patchwork Banner is uncommon. So 0 rare goblins, but that is a lot of uncommon cards, right? So even at a budget-friendly, even for a budget-friendly player, this is going to be pretty hard to put together. You're going to have to base it on your collection for sure, I would say, right? Because I know that uncommons disappear really, really fast. Outside of that, what could we do? Could we add more commons? Yeah. Lightning Strike is common. Wrenn's Resolve is common. We could go up the 4th Wrenn's Resolve. We could drop a couple of these uncommons for a couple Lightning Strikes too, right? So something else as well, if you are going budget goblins, at that point, whatever other rare goblins that you already have in your collection could be great upgrades for this deck list. I would say, let me, again, rearrange. I apologize, guys, clicking in and out of the deck list. So if we look at the goblins that are actually rare, and I don't know if there's mythic goblins, but we'll double check here, won't we? Right. Here's the rare and mythic goblins. Burnout Bastronaut, a Draconautics Engineer, a Fugitive Codebreaker, a Horde Master, of course, right? A Seer Slicer Goblin. Dude, these cards are so good, right? Holy cow. A Howl Squad Heavy, yep. And then we're seeing, well, we don't really see a lot of Squee, but we're seeing a lot of top-end Krinko. So at that point, too, if you're looking at the deck list as like, oh, I want to craft this because I'm a budget player, and but this is just way too many uncommons, you're going to want to look at your collection, and you're going to want to look at what kind of rare goblins you can just trade in instead, right? Instead of crafting way too many uncommon cards, just kind of trade stuff in, build the deck list based on your collection. And I think it could actually be pretty decent. And I ended, like, we lost so many games today. I don't know how many games we ended up playing. I think we lost all of them but one. Don't quote me on that, though, because a lot of my games have been blurring together recently. Just way too much magic, I suppose. But anyways, we lost a lot. But I still ended with a lot of confidence in the build. I don't think we had to lose that much. I think if we played another 5 games or however many games we played, I think there is a real possibility we could still balance it at around a 50%, but maybe a little lower than that too, which wouldn't be terrible for what we're trying to do budget-wise, right? This was neat. This was a neat concept, but realistically, yeah, still a lot of uncommons if you are trying to go budget, and at that point, would you just prefer building a normal goblin deck list? Maybe. If you're trying to go budget, though, you're still looking at like 20 rares all of a sudden for goblins. And so, yeah, maybe you had a couple Horde Masters already sitting around. You trade those in, trade out a couple of those uncommons, save your uncommon wild cards for something else. Maybe you pulled a couple Howl Squad Heavies out of the new set. Totally worth adding a couple of these into the deck list, right? At that point, I don't know if a top-end Krinko would be worthwhile when we only got 17 mana now that I traded down. But early game Bastronaut, especially if you also had the Howl Squad Heavy too. Yeah, I could definitely see all of that. At some point, too, though, if you are trading in too many of these rare goblins, at some point, too, you're going to start getting in the way of what the deck list is trying to do with Gleeful Demolition and actually having artifacts as well. So at some point, it will start to clog things up for sure. Because, yeah, going 0 rare goblins, we obviously had to build the deck list around a little bit of a different concept than what normal goblins is usually doing. So I'd say Runvelt Hordemaster would probably be the most important one if you do have that one in your collection, because we have so many 1-drop goblins. We're going relatively wide with the goblins as well. Oh, Dragon Fodder, by the way, is another great common trade-in as well. There it is. Yeah, I talked about Lightning Strike because I wouldn't have been mad to see a lot of burn today. But Dragon Fodder is another common that we could potentially trade in if you're running really low on uncommon wild cards. Outside of that, like sometimes people are looking for budget deck lists not because they're looking for something to craft, but just because they have a lot of the commons and uncommons already and they don't want to craft any rares. So, I mean, yeah. I liked it, guys. I did. Even though we got obliterated, I actually really liked it. And I like my changes here, too, a lot. To go over the changes one more time real quick, we dropped a mountain, okay? We dropped a Gleeful Demolition, and we went up 2 Burst Lightning. No, oh, there it is. We also dropped a Patchwork Banner, and then we went up 3 Burst Lightning, which I think is really going to be worth it, and makes even more sense for the banner now, because now you can have the turn 3 banner, boost your goblins, and still have a Burst Lightning open, which is kind of essential, especially if you're up against fellow aggro players too. So, yep, I really like the changes. Man, I have nothing else to say. Okay, if you made it this far into the video for real, y'all are champions. I super duper appreciate you, and I will see you in the next video.